Hello, dear students. So for today's lesson, let's talk about the sample proportion. Finding the sample proportion is essential if we want to make interpretations regarding data from our surveys. So surveys are common to elicit people's perceptions about emerging issues. They provide information to the public so that they may be guided accordingly in their day-to-day actions. Many decisions are based on countable observations obtained from surveys. However, to be credible and meaningful, these countable observations should represent a random sample from a target population. That is where the sample proportion comes in. Now let's get acquainted with the following terms in solving for the sample proportion. P represents the population proportion. The P hat denotes the sample proportion and the Q hat denotes the complement of P. The following formulas are used. For the sample proportion, we have X over N, and for the complement of P, or complement of the sample proportion, we have 1 minus the sample proportion, where X is the number of desired responses in the sample and N is the sample size. Let's consider the following example. In a job satisfaction survey in a certain resort, 200 employees were asked if they were satisfied with their jobs. There were 128 who responded with a yes. What proportion is this, and what proportion responded with a no? So for our solution, first let's list the given. So remember that we are looking at the survey of employees who were asked if they were satisfied with their jobs. So first is our sample size is 200, and the number of employees who responded with a yes is equal to 128. That's why the value of our X is 128. Now solving for the sample proportion, we use the formula P hat is equal to X over N. So we will just simply substitute the values of X and our N. X is 128 and N is equal to 200. So that is equal to 128 divided by 200. 128 divided by 200 is 0.64. Hence, our sample proportion is 0.64. This represents the proportion of the employees that are satisfied with their jobs. Now, let's find the proportion of the employees for those who responded with a no, meaning to say they are not satisfied with their job. So we use the formula for the complement of our sample proportion, which is Q hat is equal to 1 minus P. You will just simply substitute the P hat, which is 0.64. So that is 1 minus 0.64. It's equal to 0.36. Now 0.36 represents the proportion of the employees that are not satisfied with their jobs, and they responded with a no with regards to the survey. Now these proportions could also be expressed as a percentage. So 0.64 is 64% and 0.36 is 36%. So when we make our interpretation, we can say that 36% of the employees are not satisfied with their jobs, and 64% of the employees in a certain resort are satisfied with their jobs. So that's it for sample proportion. I hope you learned something about this lesson. Always remember, have a statistic amazing day.